Yo, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a school ratings tier list where I rate each school based on how I perceive them in strengths and in the bad one's case, weaknesses. So to start off with this list, let's go with what everybody saw coming. Death. Death is the absolute when it comes to solo play and team play, as it's needed for almost every team. Thanks to spells like Juju, nobody will ever argue that this is the top of the top. It also boasts spells like Heal Back that heal on each hit, and it's almost impossible to die with that. It also boasts great damage on gear all throughout leveling, pushing it straight to the top. Next up, we have Fire, which thanks to KI favoritism has become almost unquestionably the main hitting school of Wiz. While having problems with accuracy in early game, late game, raw damage is so hard to beat, which is why it sits here. Plus, with a teacher like Felmea, I have to give it bonus points. Another contender for the number 2 school is Life. Listen, it's born and bred to support. No matter what people say, it's got some really good damage even at high levels. So it can really go and hold its own in solo play and team play. Honestly, there's not much you can fault with Life. Okay, now to start winding down from being praised, Myth is our next up. And while it's not as strong as Fire, and it definitely has no healing like Life, it does boast pretty good categories and damage. Plus, with its Orthrus update, that 7 pip AoE is a good bet. So with the right gear and the right pet, Myth can hit with the best of them. Now in a game with support classes like Life that can resurrect you easy, or Death which can debuff mobs, not a lot of room is made for another school to support. But here we have Balance. Now Balance's main gimmick is blading, which is great for anybody. The problem lies with the fact that anybody can acquire Balance's best blades, that being Elemental and Spirit Blades, meaning Balance is left losing its greatest power to anyone willing to find Zeke's lost beetles or cats. And with few healing options and low damage on spells, it leaves Balance in a very tough spot. And to add the cherry to the shit-flavored sundae, Balance has no prisms to counter their own mobs, and to be honest, the reason it's higher on this list comes down to utility. I'd rather have a Balance on my team than the last two on this list, and at least Balance can offer real support. This will be my most controversial take yet, but Ice just has nothing going for it at all. With quite possibly the lowest damage in terms of spells, they also have lower damage than all other schools on gear, and their main gimmick is Resist, which may help you survive battles, but it won't help you resist the temptation to abracadabra your Ice Wizard every single day. Their role was clearly to be tank in terms of like the MMO class system, but King's Isle have done what seems to be everything in their power to stop tanking from being a thing. Shadow Sentinel? Why do that when you could Seraph and heal the damage done to your teammates? Why use Taunt on the enemies to hit you when most bosses use AoE, and any kind of healing Ice can do, Life, Death, or even Balance can outmatch it with their own heal spells? Honestly, with where Wiz is, you'd be hard pressed to find someone asking for an Ice Wizard to help them out. Our final school is the one you clearly know is coming. It's none other than the Blade Beggar, Temp Spammer, Waste of Pixels and Coding, Storm School. Now on the surface, Storm looks very good, sporting the highest school damage on gear and in its spells. It allows for insane percentages. You may ask, why has it fallen from the grace as a quote good school? Well, it comes down to two things: boredom and personality. Now, when it comes to boredom, if you're a Wiz player of like any experience, Storm feels like putting difficulty on easy. Because of how the game works, we know that hitting hard and hitting fast is the thing to do. But when you hit with the same spell, i.e. Tempest, over and over again, your dreams and your living nightmares are just the waves crashing on that spell over and over again in your mind as you painfully cast it each and every time just so that you can kill faster and faster. Next up is personality. Now, personality differs from wizard to wizard, but I would say 99% of Storm Wizards all have the same personality, and that is to beg for blades and cry when you don't get your way. It really feels like Storm Wizards are actually just addicted to seeing their numbers go higher and higher and begging and pleading for everybody to blade them just so they can see that number tick up. And that's why I think that everyone agrees that Storm is the worst school in Wiz. That's the end of the vid, And remember kids, choose volleyball and not radical Islamic terrorism.
खत्म बाय बाय टाटा गुड बाय